What if I told you that Elvis Presley buried a secret under the famous Graceland mansion? There is a basement room that has been locked for almost 50 years that holds treasures that no one should ever see. Riley Keough, Elvis's granddaughter, has finally opened the doors to this long-forgotten underground refuge. It shows a side of the king that will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about the most famous rock and roll star. Graceland is right in the middle of Memphis, Tennessee. It is more than just a house. It is a live memorial to Elvis Presley's life, music, and legend. He was the king of rock and roll. This famous farm became his safe place, where he could enjoy both his biggest successes and his quietest times. Millions of Elvis fans have walked through its rooms over the years, entering the world he once called home. Still, not every part of Graceland has been shown. There's a wonder behind locked doors, like places stuck in time that are kept safe out of love and respect. Riley Keough, Elvis's granddaughter, gives us a close look into that secret world today for the first time. The house where Elvis Presley lived was already full of history, music, and family traditions long before he ever lived there. The story starts with the two families, who were well known in Memphis and owned the large plot of land that would become a rock and roll tale. The estate was named after a beloved family member named Grace Toof. Her friendly and welcoming personality set the tone for the future of the land. In 1939, many years before the king would make it his home, Ruth Brown Moore, Grace's sister, and her husband, Dr. The grand Southern colonial-style home that still stands was built by Thomas Moore. It turns out that Graceland has always had music playing in the rooms. Ruth Moore was a very good harpist who played with the famous Memphis Symphony Orchestra. The house was filled with her love of music long before rock and roll became popular. Graceland wasn't just a house in the beginning. It was a place where people could come together and be creative. Even back then, music was woven into its very structure, giving it a hint of its future. Elvis Presley wasn't just a rising star by 1957. He was a huge deal in pop culture. With hit songs, big shows, and hordes of fans following him around, Elvis needed something he hadn't really had since he became famous: privacy. He was looking for a place to get away, unwind, and get in touch with himself and his roots. That's where Elvis found comfort at just 22 years old. Elvis paid $12,500 for the land. At the time, it was a big investment, especially for a young man who had just stopped driving trucks for a job. But for Elvis, it wasn't about money or fame. It was important for him to have a safe place to go away from the world, which was sometimes spinning too fast for him to handle. There was ease and charm to it, but Elvis made it his own right away. He wanted a room that showed off not only his style, but also his love for family and being silly. Graceland was never supposed to be a showy home for Elvis to impress people from other places. His family home, his artistic space, and his secret place where he could walk around barefoot, laugh with friends, and feel at ease when he wasn't in the spotlight. From the color of the drapes to where to put the music gates, every choice he made about the land was personal, not for the public. Graceland quickly stopped being just a private home. The people in his inner group called it the Memphis Mafia. It was a safe place for late-night jam sessions, movie marathons, and gospel sing-alongs that would go on until the wee hours of the morning. His family played there, and when it got too loud outside, it was a quiet place to think about what could be. There were two separate worlds inside the house. The downstairs was always busy and open to guests. Visitors and friends could hang out in the kitchen, the dining room, and the living room for meals, music, or last-minute parties. But the upstairs was holy. It was Elvis's private hideaway, and no one else was allowed to go there. Elvis' private rooms were only seen by a small group of trusted people. This is where he slept, thought, and sometimes struggled with the stresses of fame. It was more than just a place to rest at Graceland. Elvis had a fun and creative spirit that came through in it. He loved special rooms very much and had a lot of them in his house. Each one shows a different side of his character. With its exotic Polynesian style, the jungle room became one of the most popular. It had green shag flooring, carved wood furniture, and even an indoor waterfall. There was more to it than just scenery. In later years, Elvis would even record some of his last songs in the jungle room, which was his home studio. Below, in the basement, Elvis made a TV room that was based on an idea from President Lyndon B. Johnson. He famously put 3 TV next to each other so he could watch all the big networks at the same time, a reference to how the president likes to watch TV. He would relax here and watch sports games, the news, or the newest TV shows, always staying in touch with the world he so often tried to escape. The upstairs of Graceland has been kept secret for a long time, a piece of the house that was kept not for display but for holy memory. Even now, many years after Elvis's death, people are only allowed to go up the main stairs. It is still private, just like it was when Elvis lived there. This is to respect his need for privacy and his family's wishes that some parts of his life not be seen by the public. Elvis's master bedroom was in the middle of this private area. It was built to be the most comfortable place in the house. It is tucked away in the southwest corner. The room was decorated in bright red, black, and gold colors that showed Elvis's love of luxury and his flair for dramatic style. Soft fabrics, mirrored accents, and ornate furniture gave the room a warm, luxurious feel that was all his own. The room is dominated by a huge custom-made black bed that is an amazing 7 feet by 9 feet and has a beautiful mirrored top. Tech also played a big role in Elvis's private life. At the foot of his bed was a huge TV that was ready for late-night movie screenings. Another TV was placed in the ceiling above him, so he could watch it without even moving his head from the pillows. His large dressing room and walk-in closet were connected directly to the master bedroom. They were a secret treasure trove of Elvis's famous style. Here, racks of stage clothes were ready for him, including glittery jumpsuits and clothes he wore when he was at home alone. The dressing room wasn't just for getting ready for shows or events.
This was Elvis, the son, the father, and the friend who loved quiet times away from the cameras. One of the most touching things Riley told us was that she found a simple black box flea hidden away among Elvis' personal items. She found some of his most private things inside. American Express cards that had already expired, an old comb that was still covered in his hair, and other small gifts that might not seem important to other people but were very important to his family. These were the small things Elvis touched and carried every day, now stuck in the past. Riley may have been most amazed by how well everything had been kept. Everything Elvis had left behind was there, the furniture, the decorations, and the little things he had used. It was like walking into a time capsule. His presence could still be felt in that private world. The meditation garden is one of the most sacred and emotional places at Graceland. It is tucked away behind the house and is shaded by magnolia trees and soft stone paths. During his lifetime, Elvis asked for this peaceful park to be built. It was made to be a place of peace, thought, and spiritual renewal. It's a place where time seems to slow down and the outside world's noise goes away. There is a meditation area at Graceland where Elvis Presley rests today. His family is there with him in a quiet circle of memory. Vernon and Gladys Presley, his parents, are buried next to him. Their lives will always be linked. The grave of Elvis's beloved grandmother, Minnie Mae Presley, also known as Docker, is close by. She lived at Graceland for many years and was a calming presence in his life. When Elvis' grandson Benjamin Koo died in 2020, it was another sad time for the Presley family. Benjamin Presley, Lisa Marie Presley's son, is now buried next to his grandpa. This connects the generations in the holy grounds of Graceland. Furthermore, when Lisa Marie died tragically in 2023, she was buried with her father and son, giving the family's final resting place even more meaning and kindness. Today, Grace Lane is more than just a house. It's a live memorial to one of the most important artists the world has ever seen. An area that used to be Elvis Presley's private sanctuary is now a pilgrimage spot that over 500,000 people from all over the world visit every year. It is still one of the most visited private homes in the United States, second only to the White House. This shows how much people around the world love and are interested in the King of Rock and Roll. There is a lot more to Graceland than just a museum. It is a lively, exciting place that honors Elvis's life and memory with care, respect, and a strong sense of loss. The Graceland files are home to an amazing collection of over 50,000 photos that show every stage of Elvis's life. Over 3 million textiles such as costumes, clothes and linens, and tens of thousands of papers such as contracts, personal letters, handwriting notes and tour plans. To my amazement, only about 10% of the Graceland library is ever open to the public. The rest is carefully kept in climate-controlled rooms so that people in the future will be able to learn from and experience Elvis's amazing life and work. Teams of archaeologists, curators and preservationists work hard behind the scenes to organize, protect and explain these priceless treasures. They do this through careful management, passionate storytelling and the unwavering support of those who love him. Most. There's still more to Graceland than just a house on a hill. It stands for goals reached, dreams come true, and a memory that will never end. It will always be Elvis Presley's home. In spite of that, the king still rules. People didn't understand that Elvis was all about the music. Lots of people tried to make it harder. His music was such an important part of his life that when you shared it, you lived it with him. The walls and windows of Graceland are not all that it is. The man's voice, spirit and dreams changed the world of music forever, and this building is a live memorial to him. There is a story about a boy from Mississippi who went to great heights but always missed his home in every room, artifact and quiet spot. Many people have walked through its rooms over the years, hoping to catch a glimpse of the real Elvis, the man behind the legend. And because his granddaughter Riley Koo told him deeply personal things, that link feels stronger and more personal than ever. But here's the fact that not many people know. It's not the gold records, the famous jumpsuits, or even the house itself that are the most expensive things at Graceland. In the quiet times, Elvis Presley's real legacy goes on. A dad telling his daughter stories before bed. A kid who takes care of his parents. A man who never forgot where he came from, even when everyone thought he was a king. This is the real wealth that Riley Koo received. And these are the things that keep Elvis alive in the lives of millions of people, making him more than just a legend. If our trip into the hidden parts of Graceland today moved you, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tell us about your favorite Elvis memory below. Let's keep Elvis's memory living by sharing your stories. Until then, know that the love a legend leaves behind is just as important as their fame. Elvis Presley left a love that will never go away.